Wow, we are live again. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I don't know. Can you hear me? Who is going to be the first person to join us live today? There is going to be a gift for the first participant today. Just drop in your name or make sure you grant StreamYard the permission to view your profile so automatically I can see your name. If you're the first person watching me, either from our Facebook group or from my personal page and either from our YouTube channel, kindly just indicate to us that you are live and you're going to win yourself a gift for automatically being the first person to join us. So while we're waiting for the first person, I think I see one person live already. If you are here as the first person, you have a gift already. You have won yourself the book Connect to Influence. You have won yourself that book. So if you're the one, please drop a comment so I can keep track of that. And you can actually arrange for the pick up of that book from Ibadan, Nigeria. So today is day 3 of our conference, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, everyone who has been following us back to back. The feedback have been overwhelming, and I don't know how to even appreciate everyone for the amazing feedback that they have been giving us. But I can only hope that Allah will reward you for your feedback, and Allah will reward you for your time here, and for all of our speakers that have spoken so far. May Allah reward you for joining us to share from your own experience. So today is day 3 and it's going to be the final day. And the first lecturer for today is no other but Amiebu and our very jovial and calm sister, Sister Sharifa Onisesi, and she's going to be joining us soon. Inshallah, she's already here. Let me just introduce her and let's get started because we have it back to back today. We are having our lectures back to back today. We have one from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and immediately by 11 we have another one, the teenager section, and then the last one will begin by 12 p.m. And that last session, I'm just waiting for it because we are all affected in it. Of course, I really appreciate all the lecturers so far, and I know that all the topics that have been treated so far applies to us. But this particular last session is something that many of us joke with. That's why I look forward to it. So if you are the first person, like I said earlier on, please drop a comment in the session so I can know you are there. I can see your comments. I can't see your comments now. If you're the first person to join us live, like I can see 2 people now, drop your comment by dropping your name or salam alaikum so I can know that you are the one. I don't know you, but if you permit StreamYard, if you give StreamYard the permission to view your profile, automatically your name will be dropped. Your name will reflect here. But if you don't do that, I will just see Facebook user. I'll just see Kineko user. So to make it easier for me on my hand, walaikum salam to barakat. Is that the first person or the second person? I can't know. Is Safia Temi, Miss Bah, the first person or the second person? I don't know. If you are the one, please let me know that you are the one. Okay, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Welcome to our Mrs. Sherifa Onishesi. Thank you for honoring our invite and willing to share how we can be
Okay.
proactive as parents to keep our children safe in terms of their consumption or their learning when they are learning on the internet. We know that we
Yeah.
live in a world now where it can be scary. Your child might be learning on the internet and something just pops up and the child is lost on what to do. The child does not even know how to go about it. The child is afraid. And sometimes the child is just carried away and they continue washing. Just yesterday,
Yeah.
a parent reached out to me. Okay, I think I should share that when you begin the lecture because it's going to actually make it make
Okay.
sense when you actually begin the session. So I'd like to read out the the profile of Mrs. Sherifa Onisesi. That way you can know that you have brought in an expert to help your child be safe on internet. So Mr. Sharifa Onisesi is a 21st century educational technology enthusiast. He's a seasoned educator, school administrator, an ICT instructor, a certified STEM educator, and software developer. And when I was reading your when you I saw your one of your adverts for the STEM development for children this particular session, and you wrote a dialogue between yourself and some parents, and now they boast about my child cannot put any phone, just give them any phone, they can play any game. And because our children can do those things, we automatically assume that our children are gurus when it comes to tech, but we don't know that our children are just consumers. I was having that conversation with somebody recently when he was saying that how more yet about phone by more 2 years old, don't matter say anything, more anything. And I was saying, no, it's not the right way. That your child can do that. It's not something that you should be proud of. And I love the fact that I read that from a specialist, an instructor, that the child can operate phone, can play game, does not automatically mean that your child is tech savvy. For your child to be a tech savvy person, you must encourage them to be what? To be creators, not just consumers. So may Allah bless your effort and all that you do. So she's a
Thank you
graduate of
very much, ma'am.
microbiology with a diploma in what educational psychology and several IT courses. So she trains teachers on basic ICT skills and how to cultivate growth mindsets. So seeing the state of ICT education in schools, she founded Be Bright Kids to inspire kids, especially girls, to be technological producers. So her work inspired you and your child to think like producer, not consumers. People that are creating these things that we are using, they are usually very young children. She's going to be giving us, and let
Yes.
me go into our field, our specialty. So that's why you are here. So to be thinkers, to be creative thinkers, the Bright Kids mission is to demystify people's belief in STEM. You want to
Amen.
what? You want children to believe in STEM, and parents first to believe in it. It's when we believe in it that we can encourage our kids to believe in it. So be
Yes.
bright kids, train kids, and what an adult on what? On all kind of digital what? Skills like programming, robotics, app development, and the likes. So you can reach out to her if you are thinking of how can I entrust my child to at this age. Technology, I don't want to spoil my child. I want somebody that I met online. Nǹkan tó ba ayé ẹ̀jẹ̀ nìyẹn. We have those fears as parents, but we must not let
Yes.
fear overwhelm us and stifle our children not to achieve things that they are actually naturally talented to do, because they are born in the digital age. The things that they can
Yes.
automatically do, we might struggle with them. So I'll give you the honor to begin the lecture. We are already 7 minutes gone. I hope that this is an amazing session. You're going to have an amazing session with her. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. You can begin. I'll also be behind the screen writing and jotting. I have my writing materials there. So you should also get that too. Don't just listen to lectures. Listen and jot points. When you read them in the future, you'll be proud that you did. So you can begin, ma. Assalamu alaikum to barakatuh. Are you there? I think our network is bad. I can't hear her. This is Sharifa. Are you there? I think our network is bad. So let's wait for her. I think our network is bad, like I said earlier on. So while we are waiting for her, I was saying that I was going to share a story. A parent reached out to me yesterday that our daughter, two of our daughters, they were actually masturbating. They were masturbating, and of course, she was not at home when it happened. She went out, she went to the market, and her husband was the one that stumbled upon the act, and he was really angry. And the next thing that he did was to start beating the kids. He beat them. And when things like that happen as parents, the things that we actually automatically want to do is to beat that thing out of the child. So she's back again. I think I'll share my story while she's going on with her session too. So thank you for joining us. Hey, our network is doing us shaggy. So let me continue with my gist. She's back
Hello.
again.
Hello.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Are you here now?
Yes. Yes.
Alhamdulillah. We can't hear you
Alhamdulillah.
audibly though. Perhaps you should.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Am I the one not hearing now? Let me get my earpiece, please. Can you hear her, please? If you can hear her, let me
Can
know.
you hear me? Hello. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I think it's still my laptop.
Okay.
I can hear you clearly now. Thank you.
Okay.
So you
Better.
have the floor. You have the floor, ma. So the first thing I
What?
would like to ask you is that what we live in a world whereby people automatically believe that that technology is or internet generally is something that is bad for the kids. That they don't need to be on the internet. How old are they? They are still very young. Do you agree with that saying as a certified STEM instructor? Do you agree with that saying that they don't need to be on the internet too? Let's just save our children from those stress. And why do you think so? Please let's hear your
Okay,
view, man.
thank you very much, Sister Shakira. I don't believe in that. Technology is very vast, and the internet is we are not in an era. Before, every time you said you want to learn anything new, you still have to go and meet somebody and enroll with the person to learn, or to get information you have to go to the libraries and stuff like that. But with technology, you are exposed to a vast library. It is an ocean of knowledge. So when we are now shedding our kids from being exposed to that, then we're actually robbing them of their future. So, in my own opinion, I feel we should expose these kids to the internet. But just like every time we send them outside without us being there, because we were confident that we've already told them some of the dangers that is outside and how they can keep safe, right? And that's why you can just send your child outside anytime they go and let me get something, do this, because we are rest assured. We have tied our camel. Now we can send them out. So when you're giving them the internet too, what are the things you put in place before you do that? Anything done in excess would always end in disaster. But as long as there is moderation and some safety measures in place, then we can expose them to it.
Thank you very much for that. So the point you're trying to say is that we can actually utilize internet for our kids. All we just need to do is to have a proactive measures in place before we
Yes.
start equipping them or teaching them or giving them that liberty to utilize the internet. Thank you for saying that.
Mhm.
Another thing that I also like to ask is the fact that people also think that what are the dangers that are in the internet? We all know that there's danger in internet. That's why many of us are afraid. But can you list many of the dangers that children can stumble upon using while they are on internet, things that can damage their future or their spirituality or their mental psychological health? Can you give us an example?
Okay, thank you very much, Tasha. Okay, before I answer that question about the dangers of the internet, I would like to just give us a brief summary of what these kids can do on the internet. Some of us just feel, oh, they could just go and browse for information. There's so many kids these kids can do on the internet. So when we know those things, then we can now start talking about the dangers of each. One of it is the one we are all conversant with, which is the social networking sites, like our Facebook, our Instagram, and stuff like that. We all know we use that to communicate. Why kids are on a social network site now, they can be exposed to so many dangers, like cyberbullying. Cyber means internet. Bullying is just the way we bully ourselves, when we trick people, when we try to make people feel bad about themselves and stuff like that. So kids can be exposed to that. Then we have sexual predators too. Why on the social networking too? Kids can be exposed to people parading to be who they are not. And that's one of another danger that would talk about again, the internet identity theft and stuff like that. Again, kids can also play virtual games while on the internet. They don't have to install anything. They can just enter a world, and they will be in a world where they're there. They interact with people that are hiding behind an avatar. In a virtual world, you're not the one. You have an avatar. You have like a virtual being there. So kids are exposed to different kinds of people while on those virtual worlds. We also have online games like Fortnite, Call to Duties, and stuff like that. So kids get to talk to people. Some of these people talk so many trash talks, and these kids speak some slangs and some other things from there. You understand? So when your child is on the internet, there's so many things they could be exposed to do on the internet. Now, after talking about those things, then I can now start picking all those dangers. Now, first, let's talk about cyberbullying. Like we know, cyberbullying is just you harassing somebody now on the internet. Okay, so some of them can send embarrassing messages. Some could just spread rumors or malicious things about them. You understand? Then we have inappropriate content, like some of those video sharing sites that we have, YouTube, TikToks, and stuff like that. Kids can be exposed to inappropriate content. And so, as parents, these things are there for the kids. The internet is not censored. So, it is we kids, parents, that has to put in place things that can censor those things. And again, we have the identity thief, we have catfishing. Identity thief now is the kind of person that steals your identity. So that's why we need to teach these kids how to be safe online. There's some things they are supposed to share and some things they're not supposed to share. Okay? So identity thief steals your identity, gets your private information, and parade has you. We have catfishing, and we have which one would I like to talk about again? Sexual predators too. People that masquerade, they're adults, but they're masquerading like kids. So kids thought they are actually talking to people their age and not knowing these are sexual predators. And we also have downloading malicious files. Some people will just send you emails or some games that you should download, and you would not know those games are actually spywares or viruses that can spy on your devices. Okay, so many dangers of the internet, but if we parents actually knows those things, then it is easier for them us to equip those kids on how to be safe. Hello, ma'am, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you now.
Mhm.
We lost you at
So
some
I think
point, but
I've
I can
talked
hear you
about,
now.
oh yes, I think I talked about identity thief, somebody that steals their identity. I talked about sexual predators, people that try to trick kids into getting doing things they're not supposed to do, and adults that are masquerading themselves as kids. We have malicious files, which could be a spyware that spies on you, or could be a virus. We have cyberbullying. We have inappropriate content. We have catfishing, people that try to that try to trick you into getting your private information so that they can scam you, and so on and so forth.
Thank you so much for that. I really learned a lot. Honestly, we just need to learn to be proactive as parents. The things that you're mentioning are
Yes.
things that actually happen to kids on the internet. Even as adults, we experience them. You see people
Yes.
just come to your inbox and just say, "Hello, you are so beautiful. You are so this. You're, I'm like, is this one all right?" Imagine a child that is now starved of love and affection from the home,
Love.
hearing something of such
That you
from the
have.
internet. The child will feel like, wow, this person loves me. And from there, something else might happen. So as parents, we need to first know the role. How safe is our children in our home? I would like to relate to parenting back. In our children in our how do they feel safe in our home? Such that when things like this even happen, they stumble upon inappropriate content like you have mentioned, they can come back to us that, Mommy, this happened to me.
And
What's
talk
this
to us.
about? In their honesty, in all of their purity states, just to confide in you. But the way you respond and the way you handle that situation might make or mar the whole process. So we need to be careful
Yes.
what we do. Thank you for saying that. Next question I will ask today is that how can we now teach these things? You have mentioned these problems now. We have what do you call it? Internet thieves, those that thief
Catfishing.
your catfishing, they thief your identity, they portray themselves as you. We have those that bully you. We don't want our children to be starved or to be denied these benefits of internet because they live in it. Like I usually tell parents that asking your kid not to utilize internet is like you preparing them for a future that is no longer existing because this is their own era. Their time
Yes.
is time of internet. You must find that balance between what utilizing the tools of the internet judiciously while also teaching them how to be safe and safety measures on the internet. So now we want to do that to our kids. Shoot. We want to do that
Okay.
to our
So
kids.
yes.
So go ahead. How
Okay.
do we
Yes.
now teach
So
these skills to them?
yes. First, firstly, we need to let these kids understand that yes, we I think most of what our parents face now is, we new parents now had the first generation of parents that their kids are exposed to internet. So right now, as we these parents need to incubate us, know what is actually happening on the internet before you can teach a child now how to be safe on the internet. So in class we have an acronym called SMART. SMART. S. The first S is stay safe. And how do we stay safe? First, you don't share your private information. When we're talking about private information, we're talking about things that are personal to you, things that you are not meant to share with everyone, like your full name, your email, your address now. Because we have some people that that's what they do. They go to the internet to get those things, and that's how kidnapping has been very, very rampant now. Okay, we have your password. Some people still share that. We have your PIN number. You giving random people your PIN. And there's so many things you can still share on the internet, on your Facebook. And even you sharing where you are always at. Oh, I always like going to movie resorts. Like every December, I go to a movie resort. So you're sharing something like that. It's a private information. Somebody that wants to harm you, that wants to get you, can still go there. You understand? So there's some things you should share, some things you should not share. An example of things you can share is your favorite food, your things that you love doing, your favorite movies and stuff like that. So as parents, we need to let these kids know what is okay to share and what is not okay to share. And that's the first S. Stay safe. The hem is don't meet up. Like we're talking about kids that are not getting, they're not being loved from home. You would see somebody on the internet that would show you love because that's all they do. They don't have any other job. They can try to lure these kids to meet up, and that's how these kids get exposed to things they're not supposed to. When somebody sends you a friend request, we let them know. When somebody sends you a friend request, then let your parents know first before you accept. Before you meet up with the person physically or online, let your parents be aware. So that's the first one. Don't meet up. The second A is don't accept anyhow files. Some people will just send you links on even on WhatsApp and stuff like that. Even this link, they themselves has not actually censored it. Some of this link were actually there to spy on your phone. Some application when you're downloading them, there are some things they are asking you to accept. They want to take hold of your camera. They want to take hold of your contacts. When an app is reading your contacts, then the app has so many access to some things on your phone. When an app is asking for access on your camera, that means even when you're not there, that application can still access your camera. So some phones now have some kind of settings that you can allow only when you're using the app. But there are some app that would not allow that. They want to take on all access of your camera, and in that way, even when you're not using the app, they can still access your camera, which is very, very dangerous. So when we're talking about not accepting files, not accepting unnecessary links or downloads, the kids have to know that there's some link that you have to check. Let's say, for example, you have somebody send you a message and said, "Hey, Sister Shakira, this is a link from let's say Shoprite. You've won $50,000 free gift card." So we always tell kids the first thing you go is we all know Shoprite, right? Then just Google Shoprite and look for the link. Now, okay, Shoprite giving out free card, and Google it. As long as you can't find that, then you should know that link that person sent to you must have been like a spyware or something. It's a malicious link, so you don't click on it. Okay, and these people has a way of making the link looks very, very real. So the first thing you can do is just Google Shoprite's website. You know Shoprite's website, and go and look at the link they sent you. You would see that it's not going to be the same link. You understand? They can write Shoprite.Nigeria. Just they will add something to it to change the link a little bit from the original Shoprite website. Are you with me? So that way you would be able to know whether that link is right or wrong. And that will bring us to the next letter, which is the how. How reliable is the information? As kids, you need to know how to source for reliable information. So many people will post so many things online. Most of it are wrong. They just want to misdirect you. So you should be able to know which one is fake or which one is real. Okay. Then the last one is the T. We all have like an inner GPS in us that tells us what is wrong or right. So immediately as kid, you're exposed to something that you feel like, oh, this doesn't feel right. Then tell an adult. And that's where we adults shoe comes in place. When the kids are telling you something, then you listen and check it. There was a parent that told me something. I said, YouTube, we all use YouTubes and we all use all these video sharing apps. And she was like, our kid was looking, I was checking a video and she was looking at a person. So because the kids it was a link. She was playing a game and they sent a link to the game and she clicked on it and it happens to be that child game, kids game, normal puzzle games, and they send an advert and she clicked on it and it leads to her watching porn. And it was as simple as that. So because the kid was not feeling comfortable, like, what are they doing? She rushed to the parents, and thank God the parent is not a kind of parent that said, "Hey, leave the place now, go and play another thing, Jerry." But she actually sat down and checked, and she was able to see that. You understand? So we always advise them immediately you feel you're not comfortable with something, tell an adult. Are you in school and you're exposed to some content that you're not comfortable with? Tell an adult. All these are rules that I talk about. As parents, we can go to Google. Google is organizing an internet safety platform for parents and students too. The site is called Be Internet Awesome with Google. Be internet awesome with Google. By the time you're through with the old training, they give the kids a certificate. Oh, I said I was going to show you the certificate. An internet awesome certificate for the kids. So they learn about all these things I've talked about: the S, the M, the A, the how, the T, and how they can be safe in all those aspects, how they can do it, how they can access information online, how they can check whether how reliable that information is, and how to know about all those things I talk about: catfishing, identity theft, scamming, and stuff like that. I'll go again. The name of the site is Be Internet Awesome with Google.
Jazakumullah khairan for that. That was amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that. You know, when we were talking about all these smarts, be what how safe is what you're sharing. The M, what do you call the M? I think I didn't get that what I was typing.
Don't meet up. Don't meet up.
Don't mix up. Don't mix up. We also talk about how reliable is information. I even find adults guilty of this. Adults, they will
Yes,
see link like this. So nobody is giving
they
one
just
million
click.
naira. Click on this too, and they will share in
They
groups.
click.
And I get really angry. It takes me a lot of self control to just not shout the person up, say Agbalagba you now. Just look like in this sensory. And we find parents
Mm,
still doing that. So how do you expect them to
yes.
teach their kids? Because they themselves they're not even aware. And that's why we need to
Well, yeah.
equip ourselves with knowledge of the internet. It's not about being I don't have time. And they are doing it's all about evil. It's not
Mm,
about evil. Even the evil, you have to
mm.
have the knowledge of the evil for you to change evil.
Evil. Yes.
Yes, you have to have knowledge that this thing is evil. Don't say because I don't want to expose my child. You need to
Deprive
have
them.
that knowledge. It's when you are knowledgeable in that aspect that you can equip your child on how to be safe. But once you as a parent are
Mm.
saying, Kini, I don't see they're just doing rubbish. What are they doing? They're just whiling away your time. I'll just be on Facebook. I don't have that time. How will you be able to equip your child with the skills? So even parents are
Skills,
found
yeah.
wanting in this aspect. And like you have said earlier
Yes.
on, as a parent, you also need to know what is happening on the internet before you can teach your child safety measures. But if you don't know
True.
the evil, you cannot teach your child. So we first need to actually work on our own self. Work on your own mindset about what internet is and what benefit you can get, you can empower your child with in that on that space before you can actually teach your child. So it's always bounce back to the parents. At the end of the day, it's go back to us because our children
Yeah.
look forward to or they look up to us for many of these skills. So thank you for that. And you're mentioning something again that about age that somebody send a link to you, you are beautiful, you are this on the internet, maybe the person just trying to lie to you. At what age do you think that that should be appropriate? Because I personally do not think that a child that is less than 13, 14, 15 should be on the internet. That's my own personal bias. I might be wrong. But as a specialist, I want you to tell us, do you think that a child, social media, I'm talking about social media,
Okay,
Facebook,
social
because
media.
Instagram,
Okay.
yes, Instagram now, Instagram
Okay.
for one now. as early as your child is 13, your 13 years old has the right to internet, to Instagram, can open an Instagram account. So it means that if your child is 13 and you have given them a phone, they have a personal phone, a personal tab or laptop, they can actually choose to create an account themselves. Especially if that child is very smart. So do you think that there's an age that we should caution our child that at this age, or there's a criteria that we must use that to by it they by secondary school? Some people say if you don't enter university, you think what is the balance that we must find? Is there an age criteria thing, or is this skill criteria thing that we must use to measure when we should give our children phone one and when they should have a personal account to social medias? So that's my two questions. These are my two
Okay,
questions.
thank you
Sorry.
very much. When you're talking about phone, let me pick the first one, which is the phone. That when should your child has a phone? We can't actually put an age to that because there's so many things your child can do on that phone that he has. But first, what are you doing to protect that child? For you giving a child like 6 years old a tablet, I don't have an issue with it. But what are the safety measures you put in place? There are some applications that you can put on your child's phone that would assist them. Hi, I'm talking now as a mother. I remember during COVID, my kids has to do online classes. And I'm also the school head. And I work with some other schools too. So my phone was for me. I had to get them a tablet. So they have access and they have internet to that tablet. Then I discovered, then I was also having online classes. And people that are not in Nigeria, they are tiny zones. So there are some classes I have like 10 p.m. You understand? So I was not really around. So these kids can play game till like 12 a.m. because we're not going to school the next day. Until one day I just thought like, what am I doing with my life? There's some things you can put on this kid's phone. I remember then the first app I downloaded was Screen Time. What Screen Time allows me to do is their online classes starts from 10 to 12. So Screen Time allows me to schedule that time for them. That's the only time they can go on WhatsApp. 10 to I think to 11. So they can the assignment the teacher gives them I set it from 10 to 1. So the assignment the teacher gives them, they can quickly do it, access the link. From 1 o'clock, screen time blocks WhatsApp for them. Now, to watch movies or watch game, I set it. I want them to be sleeping by 9. So they can only watch that movie after Ishai. They can only watch game or play after Ishai till 9. And because they have access to internet, kids now, they want to download another game that I have not censored. Screen time will never allow them to download that. So then I was at ease. Now I can do my work and I know they are not doing something. So if they are going to a site or maybe they click on a link, immediately screen time and immediately it's sending a message to my phone because screen time has 2 apps. I'm still going to talk about the apps, different apps that we can download on our phone as a parent. I'm just talking about my own personal experience now with screen time now. He has 2 apps, one for the parents and one for the child. So on the parents app, we will do all those restrictions. On the kid's child, there's nothing there. It was just there to monitor the kid. So immediately my child is trying to download something, they send it to me. Immediately is trying to click on the link they feel is not safe. I have a mail and immediately I'm calling them wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. Like I just saw this now. You guys should leave that place. So even when they had to travel and I was not around, I get mail every time. They'll be like, "Hi, mommy, how do you know what's happening?" I get the mail every time in real time. You understand? And I had no issues. My kids still use their tablets out now. I have no issues with it because they give them assignments in schools. My kids' school now, they always give them projects and they're expected to do these projects. And I always like her going on the internet. She's just 9. I like her going on the internet looking for all those materials. And when did she look for it, she just sent it to me. Oh, I saw all this link, mom. And I said, okay, summarize what you learned from all those places. And when she sent the summary to me, I look at all those links and I can walk and I look at it. You understand? I don't want to search for her because I want her to do it. I want to empower her. So when they go for project presentation, parents are always like, it's because her mommy is her mom that helped her. And she always tells them, I did this by myself. You understand? Because I've already told her how to search. There's a way you search for things on the internet. So people will tell you, I cannot find it on the internet because I'm not using the right keywords. Okay? So there's a way you search for things. So she already knows that. And I want her to continue doing that. And so she comes up with so many projects that are very, very innovative. So why would we say we don't want to expose them to that when they can do all those awesome things by themselves? I'm a very, very busy person. I know I don't have time to sit down and teach her those things. But there are some things that are already in place. There are some things she can be exposed to, and she will do that. And most parents who are, some of us work from 8
Listen.
till maybe come back in the evening and we are all busy. You understand? But what are the things we put for those things so we don't rob them of their future? Okay,
Mm,
so I'm of the opinion you can give them, just make sure you censor it, educate
mm,
them first, sit down and
mm.
talk about this. These are things you can do, these are things you can share, these are things you should not do, and so
Yeah.
they know those things and you to check them. This even their browser histories are being sent to me. I know what they browse, I know everything. You understand? So, you talking about social media now. I am of the opinion of not giving. Why do they need social media for? You understand? It's only if
No,
maybe in their school.
they need
Hello,
it. Some
they're
parents say
talking.
they need it. Some parents will say they need it too. They need to be there. How would they be social when they're not on social media? So some parents believe that they
Yes,
need it to
they
be
go to
social.
school. They go to school and they meet people. They go out and they meet people. If my child wants to have a chat with their friends, then they can always come to me and they can use my phone to chat. On their phone, the only time screen time can open that WhatsApp for them is only during this weekend. Sometimes they send them interactive worksheet to work with. So immediately I received the message on my phone that, oh, they are having some links they have to work on. Then I open it within those time. I open WhatsApp within those time for them. If not, so what? Who are they chatting with? They should do so. When we were young, people now would sit down on the computer and be playing online games with people. Go outside, play games, do hands on. You understand? So I don't want them to be. I'm talking about my own personal. I feel a child should be matured enough, emotionally matured enough, because before we expose them to so many things. Because there are so many people that are adults and they are masquerading as if they are kids. So their own exposure is different from this kid. So when your child is on social networking and all those things like Facebook and stuff like that, then they are exposed to so many information at the same time. I remember when I was young,
Overwhelming information.
my father always says something. He said, when you have a child, every child comes with their own box. As a
Mm,
parent, the first thing you have to put in your child's box are morals. Are
mm,
morals. They should know what is right from wrong. Because when they go out, some people will start putting things in that box. And when your child is exposed to all the social networking sites, they are going to be getting so many things in their box. So if you are not
mm,
sure that your home moral will get crushed and they'll forget about it. So why don't you let
mm.
them be matured enough? At least they finish their secondary school. Then they can now register on those things. If they want to chat with their friends, they can do it on your own social network. I met a parent who one day that was talking about TikTok. He saw TikTok on my phone. I was like, "What are you adult doing on TikTok?" I said, "If I don't check what is happening on that site, if my child comes and
Yes.
tell me they want to join TikTok, I actually joined it
Mm.
because of I have so many kids that are around me that always talk about it,
Ask
and
question.
I'm a teacher. I need
Wow.
to know what is there." I always have students that told me they're playing Fortnite. I told them I want to join. They taught me because I want to know. Parents, we need to know how this application operates,
Works.
or else you don't. You would. This,
Lost.
there are so many things you get lost. Thank you. I was talking to a teenager one day, and she told me there is an application on one of her friends' phone in school, and it is a calculator. To you, parents, it's a calculator. The icon is actually a calculator,
Hmm.
and it's not. It's an app for them to store things that they don't want you to see. When you parents go there, you click on the calculator, you would add, plus it will multiply for you. For the kids to unlock it, there is a code that the kids will
Code that you
write
can
and press
press.
equal, and they will start seeing all those things they hide there. I was like, wow. And I went on the internet. I remember I wrote an article about it. Applications
Yeah.
that you can use to store things that
Was
these
that not
kids are
last year? I
using
think
it
I
to.
read it.
Yes, it was last year. These kids are using it to hide so many things from you. You understand? So I have so many teenagers around me that I always just sit down and say, tell me what is happening now. And they will
Mm.
tell me so many things. So we parents should try to know what is actually happening there. So we can
That's very.
actually guide these kids. You understand?
Honestly, we just
You to
actually,
be
yes. I'm
you
sorry
to
about
go on
that,
the
breaking
social
you up.
medias, no problem. Go on this, see what is happening. You understand? I have some kids that I'm teaching game development now, so they are supposed to be on an app like Discord. Discord is a social networking app where gamers and software developers have chat. I had to join. because the kid that was talking to me about Discord actually joined from playing all this Fortnite and stuff like that. So I had to sit down with them. Okay, so what are you doing there? And now we discovered that some of those things I teach them, there are channels that actually that game people, software developers comes and talks about projects they are doing. These kids are not joining that; they are joining the ones for game. So right now, I know what it's about and I know how I can tackle it. And immediately we started joining communities that are teaching those softwares those kids are actually learning. So I was able to do that. And I was able to see what is happening in all those other groups. And I had to join too. So I can see whether these kids, because I'm entrusted with these kids, I need to know whether they are being safe. So in my school, in every kid that I go through, I always tell them this internet safety will always go through it. It's a compulsory thing. Every time we remind them. Because parents will still come back and tell us that you are the one exposing our child to the internet. This happens, you understand? So we
No, no,
all
no.
need. I was so happy. That was when I saw your program. I was very, very happy that thank God we can have chance to talk to these parents about how to be safe on the internet.
Honestly, thank you for that. Imagine you not willing to bring yourself low to their level to understand
Level,
from
yeah.
them. One thing that we must realize is that this internet is they are native to, they are just natural to internet. Internet is native to your child because we born them, we are given to the birth, they are giving birth to in that era. So naturally, they it's something that they will not struggle to learn. Just give a child,
Yes, they
just expose them
absorb
to it
it.
just for a few days. They absorb it so easily, unlike us. It was not part of us. So they were born into this particular age of
Mhm,
internet. So denying them or thinking that Kosasi Kombe, why will I be on TikTok? And I see parents make
mhm,
that mistake. Their
mhm,
children know how to operate TikTok. They go on TikTok.
mhm.
They even watch skits together. They watch all these skits that doesn't make sense, that doesn't pass any meaningful information together. I'm not saying that it's wrong for you to watch skits with your child. You can watch some skits with your child,
Sorry, please
but so
let me
that
come in. You know TikTok, the way TikTok is actually made. TikTok only send content that you're interested in. When I joined, I'm
exactly.
always interested in motivational quotes, all these mainly call those Islamic read. So those are things they always send to me. And I like movies too. So those are the kids they always send to me. Immediately those kids picked my phone and they started watching those other things. I discovered TikTok started sending me things I don't really like. So I told them it was because you guys changed it. Because TikTok, when you watch the video, there's an algorithm that check how long you watch that video. So TikTok knows you actually like that video and continue
Bring it
sending you
back.
content that are related to that and would
Yes.
never send you things you don't want. Okay, so I had to tell them these are things I watch. Please don't go and start watching other things. So TikTok doesn't send. So if those things are already in place, there are so many things you can learn. Because one of the reasons why I joined was the video editing. There's so many talented people that have so many things to display there, and you can learn one or two things. All the safeties we're talking about. I know I most of all this app I want to talk about today. I saw people's review on it, talking about it on TikTok, talking about the experience using it. So we too have to just go there, see what is happening in Facebook, what is happening in Snapchat, see what is happening there before you condemn it, and look for ways of guiding your child right on how to stay there.
On the internet. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So it's about you, the parents, first knowing what is happening, then putting in place measures, teaching your child deliberate. Don't just assume that they should know. Like I was saying earlier on, when I was trying to share a story earlier on before you started. So this parent,
Okay.
the one that reached out to me, she was not the one that it happened to actually. It was her friend. They stay in the same compound. So this little child of 8-year-old, she sent the child to her husband stumbled on them while they were masturbating. I think the older one was sleeping on the younger one, and the husband was very angry. He started beating them. Then we let's quash buruku, ma fi gbalẹ̀ fọ orí yín, ma fi kíní kan yọ kúrò lára yín. And that's what we do as parents. When our children stumble on
Mm-hmm.
things or they do things that are not in line to our values, the way we handle them matters. So, and
Yes.
this child was, when they asked the child what happened, where did you learn it? He said he saw it on TV. And mother said, no, I can't watch TV, buruku, I can't share nkankan. You know how we mothers, how we parents
Mm-hmm.
generally, we try to say that we have done it
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. We try to give ourselves the accolade, the pé mò ń ṣe dáadáa, without trying to reflect on how you might have missed it. So while she was saying that, she was just beating the child, the husband beat the child. And when the mother came back from
Hmm.
market, they were asking her, nǹkan báyìí ló ṣe lọ́tọ́ pé àdáni wọn ṣẹ̀ nà wọn, dáni wọn ló nà tiẹ̀, èmi náà máa nà tèmi, wọn fẹ́ẹ̀ náà wọn ṣe léṣe, ìṣúṣú ọ̀ máa fi yọ kíní kan lára wọn. And when she was saying that, my
Mm.
own friend actually related that to me, was she was asking my own opinion on that issue. I told her that what one thing that we must know is that what okay, before then she now told me that she had to call the child herself. That bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe kíní gidigidi yìí kò ní work ọmọdé yóò ní jẹ́wọ́. She shall call the child, she
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
pacified the child that don't worry, trust me, I will not beat you, I will not tell anybody. But unfortunately, the child learnt that act from a man in their compound, where the woman, her mother usually send her to that compound. Because the other,
Hmm.
my own friend was able to listen to that child, calm her down, and reaffirm her
Get
trust
to
in
the
her that, don't
roots.
worry, yes,
Hmm.
I'm going to help you. And then she was able to confirm. The moment she saw her mother coming while she was selling that to my friend, the child stopped talking.
Mm-hmm. They
Don't
sip
tell
up.
her, please don't tell her.
Yeah.
So we parents, we need to look inwardly. Even if your child stumble on something on the internet, don't be reactive. Find a
Mm-hmm.
calm way, because the way the brain functions,
Come
the moment
with.
you are all in that hyper mode, your child cannot even learn. We cannot learn in a state of fear. That's the truth.
Yes.
You cannot do something meaningful when you are fear driven. You are not going to function. Your brain is not functioning effectively when you are in a state of fear. So the child eventually did not tell the mother. She was just telling my friend, please not talk to her. So whether your child is stumbling on something on internet, whether you are the cause, whether you send them to somewhere and some irresponsible adults try to molest them, try to listen. And one thing that we must be proactive. We don't wait until something happens before we start teaching our
Apples,
kids.
yes.
And that child is already
Before.
8. She'll be 9 by October. She'll be 9 by October.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that the mother, perhaps she has never had sex conversation with the child before.
Mm-hmm.
Appropriate to. And some people, parents today, they will tell you that what sex the conversation is about what private and public parts. To you, your child, to us as Muslims, every part of the body is private. And that's it.
Yes.
That's why even in Islam, we don't encourage their kids to all even their cousins. Yes, to
Yes.
that extent, some people will not allow it once they are opposite sex to this particular age.
Mm.
You don't encourage it. Start letting them know that there's boundary. So we must know that it's not about us. Go back to yourself. Go back home and do your assignment right. Be proactive. If you
Hmm.
are starting to give your child, the internet, the phone, access to phone. Make sure you have a proactive measure before you do that. So most
Okay,
times it's
in
about
case.
us parents. May Allah ease our
Hmm.
fears and make it easy for
Amen.
us.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
So the last question that I'll be taking for the day before we accept question is that what how can we now censor what our kid? I think you have actually shared that. Actually, you have shared part of them when we are talking about when you shared your own story. But I want to give us that process that we can use, a kind of detailed process, maybe the particular app we can use to censor them. Maybe we need to go through a particular method of linking their phone or their internet to our own phone, such that we can know, because I assume that many of us here do not know. That's the truth. We do not know. Myself inclusive, because me for one, I'm not ready to give my foster son any phone for now. So I'm really not really preparing him for that. I'm not ready for that. So if I know that I'm ready, I'll start teaching him. And I tell him, one of the things that I do as a rule in my house is that you don't collect phone from anybody. You don't see, I see children do that a lot. They'll see adults watching something,
Mm-hmm.
they'll come and start peeping through.
Hey.
That's a natural thing that children can do. But you need to continue to tell
Mm-hmm.
them that it's not appropriate, it's not meaningful, it doesn't make any sense. And you see them, they can
Mm-hmm.
collect phone from an adult. The adult might be watching something that is not appropriate, and your child will just stumble on it and will just see it. And you think that it's ọmọ kékeré ló ń ṣe, kò sí nǹkan kan tó wà níbẹ̀, ọmọdé ni, tó bá ti ṣe kí wọ́n máa sọ. Don't say those things. If they don't align with your value, be firm on it.
With
For
that,
one,
yes.
I don't allow my own kid. When visitors come, you don't say, I want to, please give me your phone. I see kids do it a lot. Kids do it to me when I go
Yes.
visiting them. I'm like,
And I
kí ni
tell
gbogbo
them,
eléyìí?
no.
Just ask for an adult
This is
phone. Don't
my
ask, please
phone.
give me your phone. I want to play game. And my child can play game on my phone. Yes, I'm not saying you should be strict, all strict and not give them time sometimes. But my own personal phone is my own personal phone. People will say that my
Mm-hmm.
mommy said they will phone me, or they'll tank, or they'll calling you and start calling somebody. My child cannot do it, not because I'm perfect, but because I've consistently
Mm-hmm.
reminded him whenever I try to do it. And now he knows the boundary. So let's just tell us how we can actually put in place that sensor such that eventually maybe I'm now willing, because you have convinced me now, but perhaps I'll think of allowing my son to have a phone for some things now. How can I actually put in place those sensors such that once it's trying to click on something, I get the information, notification, and also beyond just getting that notification, because in the real sense, we cannot always be on the internet. So sometimes our phone will get off, things like that, and they have their own on. And sometimes it's not even about that. It's about you teaching them to be what? To be
Right.
sincere with themselves. How can we do it such that what we are rest assured that I've done my own part, and at the end of the day, I'm leaving the rest to Allah with prayer. So how can we go about that in just five minutes? We have just 10 minutes to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I was talking about screen time. Screen time is an application. It's on Google and iOS. You can always just download it. Screen time allows you to censor the time your kids spend on phone and also the kind of applications they can. So it has a free one, has a paid one. Then we have a Google link to Google Family link. Google Family Link too, you can get that too. And I think Google Family. Then we have Kapasky Save Kits. Kapasky Save Kits comes with GPS, so we can you can even
Capacity,
track
what do you do with?
Kapasky the antivirus.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Kapasky Save Kit with GPS. It's on Android and it's also on iOS. When I talk about them sending emails to you, they are just sending the email. The kids cannot go past that place. There are some things that are specifically blocked. The reason why they are sending you those notifications is for you to know where those kids are actually trending so you can talk to them about it. It's not that the kids will they be able to use it, they won't be able to use it. You understand? And we have Norton Family too. Norton is also an antivirus too. We have Norton
Can,
Family too.
can you help us with the spelling? Sorry, the spelling.
Norton.
Mm, CON. Okay.
Yes,
Family, right?
family too. Yes, family. So you can Google them and read about them. Most of them they are free and they also have paid. You understand? Then we also have Q Studio, Qustudio. Qustudio. It's also an app. It comes in two too, like screen time, one for you parents and one for the kids too. So it also allows you monitor what is going on the kids. But before we do all those apps, like I talked about too, please let these kids take the online awesome with Google, and we parents too should take it. That way you learn about all those things I'm talking about. It's a full course. And for the kids, it comes in like a game for them. They play it like a game while they teach them all those things. And it's always very, very
Example.
interesting. So the kids will be
Example.
able to see all those things. I mean, why? Because I think I've talked about five now: screen
Now,
time,
I think
Google Family
yes.
Link,
Link
Capacity, Nothing,
capacity.
and Keystone.
Yes, Jazakumullah khairan for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. We ask Allah to reward you because
Mhm,
honestly, sometimes we
mhm,
want to actually do these things, but we don't know how to do it. That's the truth. Sometimes we want our children to be tech savvy, but we are scared. We are scared. Oh, me le dano, me le waje be alone. And that's the reason. That's one of the things that our
mhm.
own forefathers also did to us. In the fear of
Yes,
me
yes,
me lo ideology buruku, they choose not to send many of our fathers, our own parents to school with
schools,
fear.
yes.
And that's the era that we have now, that we are in now, the era of what tech, and we are actually afraid too. The same thing that happened to our parents during their time, that was the era of education. But our own time now is tech. And that's one of the
Tech,
things
yes.
that we must know, that when we judge our parents or when we try to blame them for some things, we should know that the coming generation will do the same to us. So that's the
To
truth.
us, too,
So we
yes.
must equip our kids with these tools, with this knowledge, because one, they are going to need it. It's like what?
Yes.
Making your child
Mhm,
handicapped already for a future that is not going to exist. Telling your child that it's only book that you must use, you must just the book Shama
mhm,
Kawi.
mhm.
You can see the end of our own Kawi now. So
Yes,
the
so
name of that thing on Google again. Okay, somebody's asking that, what's the name of that thing on Google? The Google, I think he's talking about the awesome kids with Google, right?
yes, the internet awesome with
Awesome with
Google.
Google. So
The
Kafai
internet
for
awesome
the
dot with Google.
So, Khadija Yusuf, I hope you got that. Be internet awesome does with Google. You can learn that for kids. It's for kids and for yourself. So you can learn together. Inshallah, my kid and myself, I think we're going to have it tomorrow or before the end of it, or today. Because they're already disturbing me for, mommy, you are just busy. You have not even watched anything. So things like that. So I hope that
Yes,
you have been able to convince you and not confuse you that internet is good as parents. Internet is good
yes.
for your child, but as good as it is, there are still some dangers with it too. So we need to just be
Mhm.
proactive. Let's put in place measures. Yes, internet awesome with Google. Yes, I think that's it. Be internet. You have to
Be
put be.
yes.
Be. You
Internet
spell them
awesome
together.
with
You spell everything together, right?
yes,
You
yes.
have to
Be
spell
internet
them
awesome
together,
with
no
Google.
space. Just like you're writing your email address, you spell them together. Be internet awesome with Google. That's it. Then when you click on it, it's going to bring up, I think, link for you or
Yes, when you
something.
search for it on Google, and you'll be able to. It will send you the link, the
So this is
direct
an
link to it.
opportunity for us all to learn this holiday period. Create time for your kid.
Okay.
Create time for them and talk about this thing. She has mentioned the five smarts that we should follow, and they're going to also teach your child in that environment. So may
Yes,
Allah
yes,
ease it
yes. It
for us. If
would.
there's any question, please ask questions. We have just 2 minutes before the end of this session, 4 minutes before the end of this session, because immediately after this session, we're having 11 o'clock session again. And that's for parents of teenagers. If you have a teenager around you or you are just a teacher, you need to be here. Why are we having teenagers that are just focusing on what? On yeah, I want to do I want to be Zazu, I want to do this. Those are their models. We need to ask ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
why can't they think to be independent thinking individuals themselves? Why are they like that? So we should come and have that conversation here by 11 o'clock again. Make it a point to join us. Jazakumullah khairan for honoring our invite again, Mrs. Sharifa. Ask Allah to honor you. The amount of knowledge you have shared with us now cannot be paid, cannot be quantified, we cannot measure them. But we only hope that Allah will reward you for all that you have done, for spending your
Thank you
time, for
very much,
spending your
sir.
resource, for sharing your story with us. We ask Allah to bless you. So let me quickly tell you the story that I was saying before we can. Okay, can you please type the names of the apps in the chat box? Like a parent once said, that son said he wanted to learn coding, and the first thing the husband said was he wants to be a hacker. So that's it. That's what we think. Coding
Imagine.
is not about
There's so
hacking. It's
many
not about
things.
hacking. Many
Yes. There's
misconceptions.
even ethical hacking. There's ethical hacking too that you learn. But there's so many things your kids can learn apart from hacking, please. I don't know
So if
how
you
to
think
hack. That's not my
you see that,
specialty. But at least
but
there's
you
some
have
people
people
that
that
do it.
do, and you can
Yes, they are the
recommend
ones
for
that
us.
thank you. They are the ones that are teaching us all the cyber safety that we're learning, those ethical hackers. So we need to know the dangers before we can find the solution to it. So don't
So
say
if
your
you think
child is
you need
going to be
any,
an
if you
hacker.
think you have challenges, or you are willing to embrace technology for your child, she's the best person to go meet. Just go meet her. You are best assured, because she has her own kid too, and she is also a Muslim, and she understands that our values are what value of what of honesty, of integrity.
That's it.
She's going to give your child the best. So if you think you need help, you want to contact her, or you want to go all out to help your child with that, you can chat on or with us on the WhatsApp group. That's why we deliberately added people to the WhatsApp group, so you can actually get back to lecturers that speak on the internet with us here, and reach out to them for anything that aligns with your own value or the kind of dream you have for your family or for your child. So if you think the names and everything, she will send it on the group to us. So she's also on the group. She'll send to us on the group. I don't know how to actually get some of the spellings myself too. So I hope that she's going to send on the
No
group to
problem.
every
Yes,
one of
I
us.
would.
May Allah
I
is it
will, sir.
for everyone. It's that kind for honoring our invites. We have come to the
Thank
end
you
of the
very much.
session. May
It's
Allah
an honor
bless you
being
for
here.
joining us. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu
Wa
alaikum wa
alaikum
barakatuh. So go
wa
and
alaikum
prepare for the
salam.
next session. Jazakumullah
Thank
khairan. Go and prepare for the next session. We are going to be making it amazing, amazing, amazing. You have a teenager, you're raising it, you have a preteen. Please start coming, because preteens, they have their own ish too. So please make sure that you make it a point with us by 11 a.m. It's just 2 minutes away. We are going to end this broadcast now, so we can start that immediately. Jazakumullah khairan. Ami wa yakum. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. You do that.